Alright people, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you'll know when I upload the next video and you'll be supporting my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Every time I upload a new video, I'll be tweeting. Ladies and gentlemen, UX, and this is our Hermit Crabs OP by the channel TierZoo. Yes, this is one of the latest video from TierZoo. Hermit Crabs. I have no idea, but apparently it's gonna be fun. I love, TierZoo videos basically. I never thought I would react to, animal zoology type of video ever. Until somebody told me to react to TierZoo. It started with human certain video, right? Our humans OP. From there it just escalated, and I'm now watching What's the Frank 1 Casual Geographics, and it's all fun. So yeah, remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the reaction, there's a link in the description. Check out the cast who plays like TierZoo with almost, not all of it, majority of TierZoo videos I already react to it. So check out the playlist, it's all there. Check out the playlist too, like Warhammer 40k, John Tron, Internet Story and History. Yeah, that's always fun. Whoa, that was shock damage, come on.
At first glance, beaches may seem like one of the most relaxed, casual biomes in the entirety of the game. But upon further analysis, it becomes clear that beaches are just as intense a battleground as every other biome. The fight for survival never stops, and so, of course, there have been a wide variety of strategies and builds that players have come up with to give themselves the best odds. In particular, the beach's lack of plant cover makes stealth strategies less effective, which in turn creates an essential need for other ways of avoiding attacks from predators, especially aerial predators. Crustaceans in particular are at a pretty big disadvantage, as they don't have the best terrestrial movement speed and don't fare very well in single combat against birds. However, there is one build—
Wait a minute, did I just see fucking that?
And don't fare very well in single combat against birds. However, there is one build that has developed a unique strategy to give itself better survival odds: the Hermit Crab. So, crabs as a whole aren't all that powerful. In fact, because of their extremely low skill floor, they're a bit of a noob trap, which is why you see so many cases of players speccing their characters into the exact same set of abilities.
I like to make that joke, like, every time some creature can make itself look bigger, it's like, suddenly puffs off and look bigger, and whatever predator is trying to take it down, just like, whoa, man. I wanted to make a joke, but then I realized, wait a minute, this is wildlife. One mistake can basically end your whole fucking life. So you can take chances. So if something looks bigger, there's a high chance it's just pretending to be, bigger, but there is a small lingering chance that it could be big and dangerous. So they just fuck off. That's just awesome.
Without ever actually becoming a dominant meta threat. Still, crab-like builds do tend to have decent base stats, particularly in the realm of defense and power. So with that in mind—
Why is the bots always attack and then just look around like that? Okay, what should I do next? Like, did anybody watch that? I don't want to be trolled my whole life and then attack again.
You might be surprised to learn that hermit crabs are well below the norm in both of these areas. Compared to similarly sized crustaceans, their crushing vice grip attack is nothing special, a little on the weak side in fact. And while most crustaceans have a tough, calcified exoskeleton that functions as sturdy armor against a variety of attacks, hermit crabs are one of the few crustacean builds with a very obvious, unarmored weak point that can be attacked for massive damage. However, as you might have guessed, simply looking at the hermit crab's base stats is a bit misleading. The hermit crab's signature ability, Armor Scavenge, more than makes up for this weakness, as it allows the hermit crab to significantly boost its stats to levels that would be otherwise unattainable. The stat this ability's effects are most concentrated in is defense. While the hermit crab's defense stat is one of the lowest in the game when unequipped, as long as they've managed to secure a nice shell, their defense jumps to one of the highest in the game, essentially matching the stats of the shell's original owner. The most desirable shells are those of snails, though clam and scallop shells can also do the job. As long as the hermit crab has found a shell to equip, it can block most attacks with ease. Normally, defense stats this high would require extreme investment of evolution points, and would necessitate some serious min-maxing in order to be viable. However, the hermit crab is able to maintain pretty well-rounded stats through the use
Seriously though, man, I mean, imagine that if there's an actual one type of species, hermit crab, will basically just walk around trying to find shells as a basic armor to wear, because everything around is basically crazy, because it's, sea creatures. We know how fucked up they can be. So it just wears this kind of, armor. Holy shit, that is something, I never thought of it like that, but yeah, that is what they do.
of this ability. It's not just defense that can be buffed via the armor scavenge ability though. The wide selection of patterns and coloration available among different shells means that a hermit crab can pick and choose what sorts of environments they would like to receive a stealth bonus in.
Damn.
Smooth, lightly colored shells will offer bonus camouflage on the beach, while the darker, more jagged shells will offer better camo in reefs. Swapping between shells isn't the only way hermit crabs can augment their stats to fit their playstyle though. The shells themselves can be augmented to boost certain stats even further. One particularly advanced technique is equipping
I'm sorry, I can't get past that. I need to read that. Wait a
for
second.
better camo in reefs. Swapping
B-sail trimming shells.
between shells isn't the only way hermit
Selling level 3 rock shell armor.
crabs can augment their stats to fit their playstyle
Did you know Jagex blocks your password? Watch. Okay.
though. The shells themselves
Hunter 2?
can be augmented
Buying snail shells
to
10k.
boost certain stats even further.
Buying GF.
One particularly advanced technique is equipping sea anemones to the surface of the shell, allowing the hermit crab to deal venom damage on contact. This is important because the hermit crab's basic attacks tend to be pretty mediocre on their own. This isn't universally true, as the coconut crab, a variation of the hermit crab build, packs one of the strongest crushing grips in the entire game. Strong enough, in fact, that coconut crabs actually drop the armor scavenge ability once they reach a size big enough to rely solely on their claws for defense. However, this is an exception, and also something coconut crabs only unlock at high levels. Before that, their game plan is identical to regular hermit crabs, meaning these absolute powerhouses still rely on the armor scavenge ability in order to maintain meta relevancy. Upgrading the hermit crab stats with good shells and add-ons can make or break the viability of the hermit crab build. Unfortunately, securing
I mean, damn, look at that. I mean, they are the embodiment of struggling to survival. I mean, holy shit. The whole, basically the whole life story of hermit crabs are just, refusing to die and just, trying to survive any means necessary. All the evolution basically led to all this, finding different type of shells. They find different shells that matches their terrain so they can camouflage themselves. That is just awesome.
a proper shell is becoming more and more difficult in the current meta. In part, this is due to the acidification of the ocean, which is a huge nerf to the viability of snails because it causes their shells to partially dissolve. And with less players spawning in as snails, this in turn means more competition for those shell drops. But on top of this, choosing a good shell is getting harder due to an influx of plastic garbage polluting all the best looting areas. Now, while hermit crabs are adaptable, and in some cases can even turn this into a win, plastic shells simply are inferior to the calcium shells dropped by defeated gastropods. But when the resource pool is constantly diluted with these low-quality drops, it's hard for builds with low intelligence like the hermit crab to consistently separate shell from trash. Ultimately, this is not a problem the hermit crab mains should be subjected to. And to be honest, compared to other beach-dwelling builds, hermit crabs have it pretty good. The abundance of garbage on beaches can be hugely damaging to less adaptable builds, and something needs to be done. This is why I joined Team Seas, an initiative started by some of the best creators on the internet. Our goal is to remove 30 million pounds of trash from the ocean, and to do that, we need your help. It's quite simple, really. Each dollar donated equates to 1 pound of trash deleted from these biomes, which is quite a lot of trash when you think about it. I mean, that's like 50 water bottles. There's a link in the description of this video that you can click on to either donate or read more about the plan's specifics. But you can also just tap this fancy new donate button if you're trying to speedrun your conservation efforts.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, it is a fundraiser. Look at that. So it's Team Seas. I think I've seen this in one of the other videos I rated too. I mean, this is a YouTube creators effort. I didn't know that. I mean, that is just awesome. All the different YouTube creators actually doing something, for fuck's sake. But, I don't know. This might be cynical side of me, but, the major movement that is happening by YouTube creator. That just already tell us that, we as humans are fucked. because YouTube creators had to step in to do something like this. But yeah, definitely, if people do donate, I guess, to creators and different places like Patreon and things like that. So I hope people really donate to this, because this is a really good cause. So yeah, if you want to donate, go to original video page, link in the description. From there, support this fundraiser, I guess. Hermit crabs though, that is just ridiculous. They're just struggling basically just to survive, right? They just it's not like whatever tools they have, they are fighting with that tools. No, it's not that. They are finding tools. That is the first time I've ever seen some animals like this doing that. Like, they find different shells just as an armor. Nothing was there. Take bottles and God knows what, plastics and things like that. Right below, there was our hermit crabs OP. Not OP, but commendable. I like the whole thing, how they basically find armor. This is by the channel TierZoo. If you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe. Check out the Rick Sunday. There's a link in the description. Check out the cards, place, check out the ink cards, and I'll see you next time.